Kickoff of this game, and like I said, last week was so good. We got to start it on the right foot here tonight, I would think. That's Dean Faithful, first-year kicker in the Canadian Football League. He will get us started. Edmonton, as I mentioned, 0-3 on the road. Bombers 2-1 at home, and we are underway at IG Field. A short kick taken cleanly at the 35, and some room up the near side of the field, all the way back to the 50. Excellent starting field position as that ended up going right to McRae, who returned kicks anyway. And Zach Collaros, a nice spot to start.
Yeah, short week for Zach Collaros, but his receiving core gets even stronger with the addition of Kenny Lawler, and this is a good group as it was. Collaros coming off the loss. It's the second for the Bombers on the season. Lost to BC here in Winnipeg earlier this year, and had a short week, but you know they're focused and back confident start this one.
First possession of this ball game for the Bombers begins on the Edmonton 49. And they'll hand it off to Brady Oliveira. Picks up about 4 yards, maybe a little bit more, as a part of this Winnipeg offense.
Take a look at their O-line. They'll start with Liam Dobson. He was a last-minute scratch. Jeff Gray was, and Dobson will play for Gray. And in the receiving core, of course, Kenny Lawler back. It's such a great group. Dalton Schoen, Nick Dembski in that group, and the playmaker, one of the best in the business, going up and just ripping the ball down. We'll see if Kenny Lawler is still, in tune with the offense. Hasn't been able to practice with the team, hasn't been able to sit in meetings until this past week because of his immigration issues.
2nd and 6 for Collaros. Looks to pass here, near side. He's got Lawler just shy of a Winnipeg first down. They'll be about a yard short. And you'd have to think this is Prukop territory.
You're going to give him respect if you're DB and you've watched any film, as far as just playing off him a little bit and giving him some room, because he can get down the field and beat you on those jump balls. But for Kenny Lawler, that's important. It's been a couple of months, a long time since he's taken a hit. Take that first hit, get settled in early.
Zach was saying earlier this week, sometimes you can just throw it to Kenny if nothing's really developing, right? And it certainly has worked for them during his time with the Bombers. Now Prukop looking to pick up the first down, and the initial push maybe not as much as they were hoping for. Probably have it, but this is going to be pretty close here early in this football game.
Yeah, interesting decision by Edmonton to try the pooch kick. In other words, not kick it real deep on the opening kickoff. They won the toss and deferred to the second half, so basically the Bombers chose, in the second choice, they chose to take the ball first. So Chris Jones decides to pooch kick it, giving Zach Collaros basically 2 first downs away from at least field goal range in the opening drive. Interesting decision out of the gate.
This looks like it might come up short with where that ball was spotted, but it'll be close. Let's get a look at it here. And it is short.
There's how you start to believe. There's how you start to believe when you're a team that's struggling.
Let's have another look at this.
Make a stop on 3rd down and a full yard to get there, and I think they got the spot right. He just got turned away at the line of scrimmage, and the coach knows it. So the pooch kick doesn't hurt him.
A rare positive for Edmonton to start this football game. They have not allowed a point, actually, in their last 2 first quarters, and the defense steps up there. So we get our first look at Taylor Cornelius against this Bombers defense. We will hand it off, and lunging ahead for a short pickup on first down is the running back, Kevin Brown.
Well, the win-loss record is not good, but Taylor Cornelius, just covering a lot of his games this year, I believe in at least 3, maybe 4, has played well enough to win. The numbers aren't great, especially that first one when you look at the win-loss record. But week in and week out, Chris Jones has said Taylor Cornelius gives us the best chance to win with our group right now. And so he gets another start. He made some questionable decisions against Hamilton, trying to press too hard to get that first win.
Had a few balls that I think we classify as drops as well.
Yes. And
Chris Jones has mentioned that a number of times throughout the season, that needs a receiver to make a play every once in a while as well. The whole offense has just seemed a little out of sync so far. They get 3 yards to Brown on that first down. So 2nd and 7 on the Edmonton 42 here. Three options, wide side left for Cornelius. Bombers show pressure and they'll bring some heat. He gets it away. Dunbar hauls it in, but he'll be stopped short. Well short of a first down there for Edmonton, and that'll bring up third down on their first possession of the ball game.
Yeah, you see what the defense, Richie Hall's group has decided. They've said, we're going after you. That was a full blitz, forcing Dunbar to make this quick read, get to the out route as fast as he can, because he knows Taylor Cornelius doesn't have the protection. So he's got to get open quick, but he's short of the first down.
Dietrich Nichols there for his 15th tackle of the season. Two-time CFL All-Star. Julian set to kick this away. Jamal Parker waits just outside his own 15. Janarian Grant not healthy, not in the lineup this evening. Taken by Parker. Looking for the near side of the field. Back up just shy of his own 25. And that is where Zach Kolaris, back-to-back MOP, will get the ball, looking to get his Bombers back in the win column when we return to Winnipeg.
Rookie, young starter, first game, first start in the CFL, taking off in overtime and scoring and beating one of the top teams in the league. And yeah, you should celebrate Bob Dice. Nice.
He was very excited, wasn't he? And of course he is. That's a phenomenal comeback victory. Here's Kolaris, pressure in his face, near side of the field, and it's intercepted just outside the 40. It's Lewis who steps in front of Lawler, and the Elks have a turnover. Second INT of the year for Lewis.
Yeah, pressure. It's all about the pressure. I mean, Zach Kolaris basically has a guy right in his face. Pressure coming right up the middle. Has to throw around that pressure. And Lewis says, yeah, man. Underthrown.
Went and took it away. Great field position after the turnover for Cornelius. Fakes the handoff, finds Kyron Moore, and Moore takes it down to the 30 for an Edmonton first down.
When you're looking to snap a losing streak, when you're looking to get out of that funk, you need a couple of plays. You need some things to happen for you. On the road, you get a third down stop from your defense. Next time up, your defense gets the pick. Now can Cornelius, in sudden change, put some points on the board? Already in field goal position now, so every decision important for the quarterback.
Their kicker last week, 2 for 2, faithful after a tough week in his previous game. First and 10 on the Winnipeg 29. Brown stands in directly to the right of his big quarterback. This time they'll give it to him, and Brown meets Big Hill as he gets through the first hole, and it's going to be a long day for Brown in this Edmonton offense if Big Hill's on his game.
Well, their offensive line is better with Brett Boyko. He's in game number 2 at right tackle, so the CFL veteran is back, and this is game 2, should be even better. And you know, I put Kevin Brown as a highlighted starter because he had his best game last week, over 70 yards rushing. Dunbar also played very well. He had a touchdown in the loss to Hamilton.
Dunbar at the bottom of your screen. Second and 9. Cornelius had some time, but it's taken away. Trying to get away from Jeff Godin. He does. Cornelius on the run now. Some room down to the 20. Inside the 10. Cornelius towards the end zone, and he's forced out. The big fella rumbles. Looked like they had him, but he got away.
Well, this is what he's capable of, and this is a big play in a time when he wants to take advantage of the turnover and sudden change. Real important to get a lead on the road. So he breaks. He looks like he was sacked in the backfield. Gets out of there and then gets 2 monster blocks from his receiver, Maurice French, number 88, as he gets around the corner and picks up another 10.
Stepped out of bounds at the 6, and that is where they were from. First trip to the red zone tonight for Edmonton. Cornelius calling Mitchell in. They'll hand it off to Brown, and he has nowhere to go. Winnipeg defense takes him down for a loss.
Yeah, Anthony Bennett just stepped into that gap and said, no, see, this is my gap. There's Bennett there, I believe. Take a look here. And that's my gap. It's C. Yeah, I'm canceling the C gap, is what he said.
A loss of 2 on that handoff to Brown. So second and goal now from the Winnipeg 8. Edmonton looking to take advantage of a turnover here early in the ball game. Cornelius has time, goes underneath the Brown. It's intercepted the other way. Madness at IG Field early as this is going to be picked off by Cameron Lawson, the first of his career. Setting the tone for an excellent week in the Canadian Football League. It's Cornelius off the hands of Brown into the hands of Lawson, and the Bombers defense answers.
You keep hustling to the football and good things will happen. Lawson gets up. Look, he's in his pass rush mode. He has to turn. He sees the ball thrown. He hustles back, try to get involved in the tackle. And after rushing the passer, turns around and makes a big play, taking points off the board for Edmonton.
Go to the football? Is that the lesson there?
Hustle to the football no matter what, and good things will happen.
6th interception of the season for Cornelius. Winnipeg gets the ball back on their own 11. Flags on the play here as they hand it off to Brady Oliveira. And flags on both sides of the field. Oliveira having a fine season so far.
Offside. Edmonton number 6. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
AC Leonard flopping sides for this game. 3 sacks on the season for Leonard.
All of them coming in one game. Monster game that he had earlier in the year. And now a 1st and 5, very manageable for Collaros. Both Collaros and Cornelius with interceptions here in the early going. They'll hand it off again up to about the 15 and no further as the Edmonton defense makes a nice stop.
Elliott Brown will start in AC Leonard's other job where he was on the other side at the beginning of the season. He's now flopped over, and we're going to get a new middle linebacker in Tony Jones. Niles Morgan out due to injury. Back in the secondary, Marlon Franklin Jr. gets his first start at safety out of Cal Berkeley.
26-year-old getting the start at safety today for Chris Jones' defense. 2nd and 6 now from the Winnipeg 15. Pressure from Edmonton. Collaros down the field. Oh my goodness!
There he is.
He's back. Kenny Lawler lays out and hauls it in.
He's
Spectacular stuff from 89.
Oh baby, he's back. Didn't take long, did it?
What a catch.
Highlight reel. Get ready. Oh, baby. Oof.
Bombers get it away quickly.
Yes, smart.
I think I saw why they got it away quickly. Oliveira on first down.
That's smart play by a veteran in Zach Collaros, because Kenny Lawler, although this is absolutely spectacular either way you look at it, did the ground help him secure it? It doesn't matter now because it wasn't challenged.
Might have got some help, but it still looked awesome.
Didn't take long. 89 is back.
2nd catch of the game for Lawler. He's got 33 quick yards in this one. 2nd and 8 now for Collaros. Pressure coming again. Feels it, stays on his feet, now looks down the field, has a completion. What a play by Zach Collaros to find some time and then find 88 in white, Rasheed Bailey's first catch of the game.
Brady Oliveira is going to take one, but there's another blitzer that gives Collaros some trouble. Oliveira, number 20, to the ready screen. There's the first little chip, but that's what flushes Collaros out of there. And he's at his best. He's making that. He's negotiating the pocket just like that.
That was Darius Bratton, the rookie, who had the first crack at him, but Zach got away. 1st and 10 now from the Edmonton 50. Empty backfield. Back to Lawler. Wrapped up immediately and taken down by Marcus Lewis. We got a nice little battle between Lawler and Lewis so far here in this football game.
Yes, we do. Lewis in his 2nd year in the CFL. He's replacing Ed Gainey, and he's up there and working one-on-one on 89 a ton already early in this game. We've seen a couple of hitch passes to Lawler, and then the spectacular catch not challenged in time by Chris Jones. He might have won it.
Collaros 5 of 6 for 56. Lawler and Dembski out to his right. Collaros on the run, has a completion down to the 30 as he gets it into the hands of Drew Wolotarski, his 22nd catch of the year.
You know, one of the questions is, will Kenny Lawler understand and get back into the playbook? This is moving Lawler into that 3rd spot, the 3rd hole, trip receiver to the field, and he's that 3rd receiver inside, and he runs 2 defenders off deep, and that opens up the curl in a one-on-one to Wolotarski. So, you know, if you were unsure as a Bomber offense as to whether or not Lawler still understands the offensive playbook, you can forget about that. They're moving him around in different positions.
Lots of moving pieces this time, and they'll hand it off to Dembski right up the middle. Dembski takes it down inside the 25. Not enough for a 1st down, but a healthy chunk on 1st down.
Boy, this started back on the turnover inside the 10 going in. Edmonton comes up with no points on that drive, and now the Bombers have moved it all the way down into at least field goal range.
2nd and 3 for Winnipeg. Down, creeping towards Edmonton's red zone for the first time today. Oliveira just 1 carry for 4 yards so far in this game. They'll give him another. He goes right up the middle, and he's got a 1st down. Takes it down to the Elks 20.
Yeah, Ottawa did a nice job against Brady Oliveira on the ground. Actually limited Oliveira to just under 20 yards, and yet Winnipeg found another way to use him and get him keep him involved in the offense, and that was through the air. He had over 100 yards receiving.
First and 10 from the Edmonton 20. Collaros on the roll to his right, down the field. And there's Dalton Schoen getting involved in the offense as Winnipeg marches on.
You know, when you talk about ball placement, Zach Collaros is one of the best in the business. He's running full speed to his right because he's being chased that way, off balance, and watch the accuracy on the throw to Schoen as he's going to double move it and then run the comeback and come back to the cone, and look at that, right on the money as he steps out of bounds. Tremendous accuracy on the full run.
Bombers knocking on the door here. They'll hand it off. Oliveira pushing down to the 5, still trying to go, and eventually they'll stop him short. But what an effort from Brady Oliveira.
Well, you know that Buck Pierce has not been talked out of the run game. They're gonna keep 20 involved on the handoffs. Sometimes that happens, even to veteran play callers, guys that been in the league a long time, and they have a bad game running the ball, and then they kind of forget about it or move away from it. But Buck Pierce, we can see, is definitely committed to Brady Oliveira, especially on 1st down.
Collaros to the sideline. Prukop into the game, working from the 2-yard line towards the end zone, and he's in. Touchdown, Winnipeg. Prukop gets him on the board.
Wasn't going to be denied this time, was he? That was that first drive on 3rd down at midfield. Edmonton gets the stop, and look at him drive his legs there. He's 4 or 5 yards with the pad level down about a foot off the ground to get in that time.
Impossible to get underneath them there. 12-play, 99-yard drive that took 7 minutes and 13 seconds, and it's all after a turnover inside the 10. Castillo pushes this one wide right, surprising, and
Watch
Sims
out.
will bring it out. Here goes C.J. Sims, far side of the field, up to the 30. Sims stumbles at the 35 and is going down. Big fella Hardrick comes over to wrap him up just in case, but an interception by Lawson, who you saw on your screen there. And then 12 plays later, the Bombers open the scoring. Collaros 6 for 6, 78 yards on the drive, and they lead 6-0 because it'll come back to bite you. And as soon as they got the ball after that interception, they were flawless working their way down the field.
Spectacular catch, was not challenged. Collaros wisely ran a play very quickly. Once a play is run, you can't challenge, so he goes 12 plays, 99 yards, 7 minutes and 13 seconds, and went 6 for 6 throwing the ball for 78 of those 99. So got the run game going, was accurate on the drive, and you're absolutely right, Dustin. You give a real good team another chance, they go down and score on it.
This is taken at the 11. Cobb spinning his way just outside the 30. And now we will get a look at Taylor Cornelius, looking to bounce back after an early Iron tournament long. Edmonton trailing by 6 as time ticks down in the opening quarter. They'll hand this one off, and a nice carry for a first down from Brown. That's his best work of the ball game so far.
Yeah, and I like how he covered the ball up too. I mean, you know, when you're having these issues with turnovers and things like that, watch Kevin Brown here. He gets open space, but he'll cover the ball up with both hands, even though there's not contact at that point around him, just to be sure. It's a smart decision. Be sound and protect that football.
Couple of fumbles on the year for Brown. One of them was recovered by Edmonton, so one lost fumble on his watch. Final play of the quarter for Cornelius. Pressure from Winnipeg. Hands it off again, and Brown is tripped up before he could get back to the line of scrimmage, and that'll do it for the opening 15 minutes in Winnipeg. The Bombers on top, 6-0. Couple of turnovers. Collaros looking pretty good in the early going, and Brukop finding the end zone here in the first. After the opening quarter, and for Edmonton, it's kind of same old thing again, Glenn.
Well, it is, and you know that 104 yards net for Winnipeg, 99 of them on that one long drive. But when you see a struggling team, you often see it. They take a step forward and make a big play, like that third down stop in the first drive for Winnipeg, and then they get nothing out of it. They get an interception on their defense, get right down inside the 10-yard line, and they get nothing out of it. So again, step forward, one step back. So Chris Jones got to get him out of this funk somehow, and it's going to take some big plays down the field. Taylor Cornelius playing above the level that he's played at so far this season.
2nd and 11 for Cornelius. 3 options out to his right, including Dunbar and Mitchell and Kyron Moore. Looks to his left, throws to his left, and Maurice French hauls it in. Holm is on top of him immediately, but French is about a yard, maybe 2 yards shy of a first down.
That was a tough catch. You know, Maurice French had a drop last week against Hamilton right down by the goal line, and a key part of the game that I'm sure he wants to make amends to. I've seen a couple of big blocks early on in this game when Cornelius ran, and that drive got him down inside the 10, and that was a tough catch, and he fought it off and made it.
French, last week, 6 catches for 70 yards. They come up short here, so Julian will kick it away, and Edmonton will tend to play a little bit of a field position game. Jamal Parker waiting back at his own 10. End over end, near side. Parker takes it, and he's hammered down at the 25. a heavy blow on the tackle. Plumundon was the second guy in there who finished him off.
How about this contact on the teams? Hustle down, stay in your lane. This is Reeves, big part of it. Starters, both offensively and defensively, play on the teams as well.
Reeves, a local guy here in Winnipeg, came into the game with a special team tackle and a fumble recovery on the season for Edmonton, joining them late. That'll hand it off to Oliveira. And 2 or 3 yards on a quiet first down carry here.
Seen a couple of tackles already by Adam Konar. The veterans of 8 years, University of Calgary, and that linebacking core for Edmonton. You know, your linebackers front seven. I mean, everyone's responsible for run stopping, but your linebackers in front seven, that's your key guys in the run stopping. They get them in second and long, and now DB's got to make a play.
2nd and 6 for Winnipeg, trying to keep the offense on the field. 4-man rush. Collaros in trouble, and he will be taken down as Edmonton's defense gets the job done. A.C. Leonard's 4th sack of the season.
Yeah, it looks like he just came around the horn, but he is now like way outside wide, so he's putting Stanley Bryan in a bit of a tough situation. He goes with the bull rush right into him, locks horns, and then gets around that lock and right to Zach.
Jamison Sheen stands inside his own 10. Kicks this one away. Backpedal here for Sims. Sims back to the 40. Wrapped up a flag at the end of the return. Zach Collaros back to the iPad after taking that sack from A.C. Leonard. Where is he? There he is. Gets around Bryan, wraps up Zach, and finishes him off.
During the return.
Keel and Elks that we spoke to said that message was received loud and clear coming from a guy with clout like G. Roy Simon.
Always nice to hear from somebody who's been in your shoes, Glenn. Now here's Cornelius on the run, a lot of room, and he has a first down.
Absolutely does, and one of the best to ever do it, one of the best to ever play. And when he talks, people are listening. And G. Roy talked about that 0-5 season in 2011, and we've done some more investigating reporting to look at that season. Started out very much like how the Edmonton Elks are playing right now. They just couldn't get it going. They couldn't protect the quarterback. They were throwing interceptions, getting beat on defense. And here's we did some deeper diving to find out exactly how they turned it around, and it turns out that Davis Sanchez played the first 5 games when they didn't win one, and then got injured and didn't play the rest of the season.
Sorry, Chet.
So I guess we figured out how it happened now, but no.
I mean, you could say it's a coincidence, but yeah, I mean, they turned it around and went on a heck of a run. And this is actually a heck of a throw here from Cornelius to find Dylan Mitchell for his first catch of the game.
And we kid with Davis Sanchez, of course. But the bottom line is what G. Roy's message is: keep with the process, because this is good. They're good players. They're players that are good enough to win. Stay together, stay with the process, and when you will be validated.
1st and 10 from the Winnipeg 47. Cornelius makes the handoff. The run to the right, and just had to get that one away. And he gunned it in there off the turf into the leg of Maurice French.
That's a good decision. It's a good decision. I know Chris Jones doesn't like the outcome of the play because it's 2nd and long, but that's a good decision. And if you're going to try to force one in on the full run like that, make sure the accuracy is there. We saw the accuracy with Collaros on one side, and we saw a throw that wasn't quite as accurate that was intercepted earlier in the game for Cornelius.
Great crowd at IG Field, no surprise, trying to get it ahead of Cornelius here. 2nd and 10 from the 47. Pressure up the middle. Cornelius escapes. He's got a ton of room to run. Cornelius to the 40, down to the 30. He's got the first down and more, and then he's hammered down out of bounds at the end of the play. But another big pickup for Cornelius.
You're right, it was full pressure. It was Adam Bighill coming on the blitz. He's going to go through the A gap, and it's blocked up well. Someone from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers defense looked like maybe Jackson Jeffcoat got too high and lost containment, and when he did, Cornelius made him pay.
Alexander eventually tracked him down before he could get any further. 58 yards on the ground for Cornelius on 3 carries. Working from the Winnipeg 25. This time they'll hand it off to Brown. Found a little bit of a hole and gets about half of what they need on first down.
Very manageable second down situation. Again, decisions so important now. And you've heard me say it before, but for quarterbacks and watching them all these years from the booth and playing with them and against them, the good ones. Mental and physical toughness, decision making, accuracy. Have 2 of those 3, you're good. Have 3 of those 3, you're great. And can you do it under pressure when number 4 is chasing you down?
Consistently. 2nd and 6 for Cornelius. Just outside the red zone. Pressure again. Cornelius running again. Jefferson tries to wrap him up. He flips it ahead. And it falls incomplete, but Willie was all over him.
Yeah, there's no question what what Winnipeg wants to do defensively on key second down plays, even when it's simple plays, or even when it's manageable second downs, when it's 2nd and 5 or less, they're coming with full pressure. Richie Hall is saying, I'm not sure Taylor Cornelius is handling pressure. Right now, what we've seen in this first half, second down, he's blitzing.
Faithful to make it a 3-point ball game, and he knocks it through. So Edmonton is able to break the goose egg, and we've got ourselves a 6-3 ball game midway through the second quarter. Winnipeg with that man back, Kenny Lawler. Well, he had to wait a little bit longer than he expected, but Kenny Lawler is very happy to be back in a place he had so much success. For more on the return, let's send it down to John Luke.
Well, thank you, Dustin. And Kenny Lawler describes his DUI in October 2021 as a fork in the road, and one that caused him to choose what he describes as the right path, leading him to make amends to his community and family. Now, he's been taking classes about responsible driving that include the threat of alcohol, and in his outreach to youth and adults at his football camps and public speaking engagements, he's educating people about how not to make the same mistake that he did, and that's extending to his teammates, especially his American counterparts, who would be subject to the same legal and immigration issues that Lawler was. And so he's really trying to make sure that they avoid putting themselves in the same situation as he did.
We had a chance to chat with him earlier in the week as well, Glenn.
Well, he's just so thankful for this really second opportunity, and you know, I would say that he has paid his dues now. Thank goodness no one was hurt in the whole incident, and he has certainly learned his lesson. And you know what, listen, if we're all judged by our worst decision and our worst moment in life, there won't be very many good people in the world.
2nd and 7, and a completion up to the 50. That should be enough, or very close to a first down as they get into the hands of Dembski. I think they might be marked just shy of the 50, which is what they need.
The thing I also like about what Kenny's doing is he is using the experience for good and trying to help others and make sure that they don't make the same mistake. So it's great to have him back in the league, and we've already seen an example of what he can do athletically.
3rd and short. Prukop up. He fumbles the ball, and that is going to be a very tight spot as he dropped that ball before any sort of initial push ahead, and this would be another huge turnover if he didn't get to the 50.
Ely looks like he came out with it, but Prukop doesn't have control there.
Well, it looked like after he picked it up, it might have been popped away again.
Yeah. So he doesn't. He reaches for it. He has it here, but he gets it popped out of his hands by Curtis. Ely came out with it. It's a turnover.
fumble by Prukop on 3rd and short.
Fumbles it here. Looked like he grabbed it again, but didn't have possession. Curtis knocks it out again. And I think Coney Ely right there over the top of the pile, number 90, he rips it out, and he ends up with it. Turnover and Edmonton football.
So stuffed on a 3rd down earlier was Prukop. Turnover on downs. Now a fumble. Zach threw an interception earlier. Winnipeg still leads 6-3, but if you're Edmonton, you got to take advantage of this opportunity. Pressure from Winnipeg. Near side, Kyron Moore has it go right through his hands. And that's one of those things we've talked about where some of the receivers need to help their quarterback a little bit.
Yeah, he knows it. You know, he knows it. And this is something that he's going to get a lot of because of the defense that's being played. Winnipeg is loading the line of scrimmage and blitzing. They didn't even hide it the last time.
Everybody saw that one coming. And Cornelius got rid of it quickly, but Moore could not hang on. He had a 100-yard game last week, did Kyron Moore. 2nd and 10 from the Winnipeg 50. Cornelius gets it away, back to Moore. He's got it for a 1st down and a little bit of redemption for 3 in green.
Yeah, that's how you make up for it right there. Forget it, wash it, leave it, and then come back on the very next play. All that matters after an issue or a bad play is the next one. And that's exactly how Kyron Moore takes this. That's how he approaches it. He has to go down and make this catch, puts the hand down to keep his balance, gets a new set.
Big Hill there to finish him off. Fresh set of downs at the Winnipeg 36. They'll hand it off to Brown. Maruo among those there to wrap him up after a short pickup.
The way that Winnipeg is playing this defensively, it's going to be very difficult for Edmonton throughout this game to run between the tackles. I mean, they're canceling every gap. Adam Bighill's playing on the line of scrimmage. Maruo is often playing on the line of scrimmage, getting his first start, the global, born in Japan. Pretty excited about his first start, but they're loading up the box.
Just 2 yards for Brown, now 2nd and 8.
Oh,
and Dunbar was way ahead of the play.
Give that one to the fans.
And that'll just fire the crowd up more.
Edmonton number 7. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
He was offside.
He wasn't even close.
He was like offside. Like watch number 7. Offside. He's 20 yards downfield.
Looks like Mitchell was ahead of the play as well. Richie Hall, what's he going to dial up for the Bombers defense here? 2nd and 13. Cornelius in trouble again, taken down this time. Wrapped up just inside the 45. Ricky Walker has his 3rd sack of the season.
Now it's only four yards or so from where the line of scrimmage was. But it's enough to push him out of field goal range. I mean,
well, it would be a 50-yarder. And Faithfill's long on the year is only 45, so.
And they gave up 4 or 5 on the sack.
Yeah.
So,
but still, you'd like to have a kicker you'd let run out there for a 50-yarder, I would think.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
With no wind.
No wind.
No wind in Winnipeg. Hang on, let me. Okay.
A bizarre day. So Julian gets this one away. Tries to hang it up there. Parker watching. That one will bounce at the 6. Pretty good job. Parker takes it, and Winnipeg will start deep in their own territory. The #1 Canadian reality show is back. The nation is calling. Get into a new episode of The Amazing Race Canada, Tuesday, 9/8 Central on CTV. It's like us when we have back-to-back games.
Well, yeah, you and I could be a team. You want to be a team? Like, now, if you heard what I did in the airport in Vancouver this recently.
I'm not going to be on your team. Who leaves a bag at the airport?
Yeah,
My goodness.
I almost blew it after all these years and all. and 2 million miles.
I'm way too stressful a traveler to actually be involved in that show. I try to get it going with Dembski here, but read well by Edmonton, and they wrap him up with just over 3 minutes remaining here in the second quarter.
Yeah, there's been a couple of real good moments here for Edmonton. I mean, they've played pretty well against Brady Oliveira, just 19 yards rushing on 5 carries for him. They're controlling the run and the line of scrimmage, putting Zach in second and long.
That'll take us to 3 minutes at IG Field. Bombers on top, 6-3.
Is eating cheesecake provided by our wonderful Rolly.
Take it. Let's go.
Baked the entire thing for the anniversary. Eat it, Milt. Eat it. Do it.
Come on.
Do it for the fans.
I'm a huge cheesecake guy, Glenn. Huge cheesecake guy.
Yeah, I've put back a couple of cheesecakes in my time.
2nd and 11 for Collaros. Inside his own 10 here. 3-man rush. Escapes out to the left. Down the field. It's up for grabs, and it falls incomplete. Schoen working against Purifoy. Looked like Purifoy timed that pretty well.
He did, but here's what I've noticed in this first half, and I haven't seen Winnipeg for a couple of weeks now live, so can't really tell all the time by just watching the game on TV. And watching it live, Zach Collaros just does not have the same amount of time in the pocket that he has had throughout the last couple of years, certainly. But I mean, we've seen him throw on the run before, but
he's good at it.
But yeah, but the pocket is collapsing quicker.
Sheen from just inside his own end zone. Towering kick. Sims waiting. Takes it cleanly at the 45. CJ Sims turns it back down inside the 45 the other way. An excellent field position here for Cornelius and the Elks, trailing 6-3.
Well, this is such a big kick. It just outkicked the coverage a little bit. That's why he has so much room early. But excellent field position with plenty of time to put points on the board before going in at halftime for the Elks. Possibly even take the lead.
They start on the Winnipeg 42 with just under 2.5. Cornelius gets it away to Moore. Moore made a nice move to make one man miss. Got a few extra yards out of it before he's tangled up by the Bombers.
Yeah, and I'm sure that, the offensive staff and Cornelius went to the receivers in between series and said, guys, it's an all quick game because we're getting so much pressure. We can't block them all. So I got to get it out there quickly. Be a lot of the quick game, and if you're going to throw fade, but you got to get it out there fast. So you got to get it, the fastest guy you have down the sideline. Maybe Dylan Mitchell down here at the bottom.
2nd and 5. Cornelius, far side of the field. That's hauled in. And it'll be enough for a first down. First catch of the game for Vincent Forbes-Montbleau.
Nice out route here by Montbleau. Again, quick throw on time. Intermediate, just boom. And this is all timing right here. Watch. 1 steamboat, 2 gone. Not sure Willie Jefferson can even get up the field in 2 seconds. Well, you know what? I'm going to take that back.
I wouldn't doubt it. Fresh set of downs for Cornelius. 1.5 to work. Hands it off to Brown. Brown trying to stretch it out, but Big Hill all over him. Picks up 3 yards on that carry.
Well, Big Hill goes inside out, but Cramdy comes up and gets contained. There's Big Hill, and he's going to close inside out on this. Just real assignment sound from the Winnipeg defensive perspective. Watch 17 turn that inside.
All smiles from Brown. 2nd and 7 for Edmonton. Trying to keep this drive going. Cornelius near side for Mitchell. What a tackle. DeMario Houston was right on him. And that'll likely bring up 3rd and short.
The other way you can beat a blitz, and you're facing man-to-man coverage, so you got to have your back beat a linebacker out of the backfield, but you can screen them. So you get everybody at the line of scrimmage defensively. They come up the field, and you throw it to your tailback in behind that defensive front. And if that linebacker slips or there's a little space there, Kevin Brown's got a lot of room.
A 30-yarder for Faithful to tie the game in a 3rd-and-1 situation. Just inside the left hash marks. And he is able to poke it through. And Faithful 2 for 2 here in the first half. And Glenn, late in the second quarter, this football game's tied at 6.
Yeah, a lot of good things. That's what I said. A lot of good things from the Edmonton defense. We've seen a couple of stops on 3rd down. We've seen the fumble recovery on 3rd down from Brukop, the interception from the Edmonton defense. And you know what? There might be some Edmonton fans saying, why didn't they go right there on 3rd and 1 to try and keep the drive alive, maybe score? That's the right decision.
You like that decision?
First of all, it was 3rd and a long one, maybe even 2. It was 1.5 yards at least. You don't get points there. You get back in that mental, rut that they've been in for a long time. So take the points, tie the game, going in at half. Now you got to get another stop from your D because there's 52 seconds.
There's lots of time left, no doubt. Lots to still discuss for our halftime panel. They'll toss it to Dembski, and he picks up about 4 yards on that 1st down carry.
But they played real good against the run, the Edmonton defense, in this first half. Oh, this is a nice little change up with a sort of a deep pitch to Dembski up there, and he took a pretty good hit, but he did get 5.
Bombers just 29 yards on the ground here in the first half against an Edmonton defense that is allowing 147.5 yards per game coming in.
That's what I mean.
9th in the league. 2nd and 6 for Collaros. 3-man pressure from Edmonton near side. Lawler, he's got it. Kenny Lawler, what a move. Stays on his feet, takes it down to the 45, and eventually is hammered out of bounds. But Kenny Lawler with a little magic along the sidelines.
This looks like a guy to me who's got fresh legs.
He does, doesn't he?
This looks like a guy to me that knows the offense, but he's got a little bounce in his step there. Just making moves in the open field.
18 seconds on the clock. Collaros out to his right. Flag down the field looking for Dembski, and it falls incomplete, but a flag in the secondary. .11 seconds to work for Winnipeg.
Well, this is illegal contact. I didn't see the flag around Dembski, and it didn't look like.
Oh, I think it must have been down the field even a little bit further, but.
There we go.
Illegal contact on receiver. Edmonton number 32. This is a 10-yard penalty and a 1st down.
Franklin Jr. is trying to. That's the intended target, but they threw it to Dembski. So there's the illegal contact, and Dembski became the target, but it was enough delayed that it doesn't turn into PI, because that's a point of foul.
1st and 10 from the Edmonton 34. Collaros on the run. A flag here as he took off. And could this be maybe a holding? It is going to be a hold against Winnipeg, and that will back them up with 6 seconds on the clock.
Holding Winnipeg number 67. 10-yard penalty will replay 1st down.
Chris Kolinkowski is the center. Snaps the football. He's got Coney Ely, and there's the takedown. Which pushes the field goal range.
Well, 6 seconds here. This would be about a 51-yarder.
Quick out and field goal team. Do you have time?
Let's see. They're going to hand it off to Brady Oliveira. He's going to slide. And with 2 seconds on the clock, they managed to pick up a pretty decent chunk and make things a little bit more comfortable for Sergio Castillo.
Smart.
Yeah, it was.
Just real smart. I mean, this is a play that they have designed for this exact scenario. You know, just run the ball real quick up the middle. It's safe. You're not going to risk an interception or bouncing off a receiver or anything. And you give your kicker, get him a little closer.
13 for 13 on the year, and he's hit 23 straight going back to last season to give his team the lead at the half. Castillo pushes that one wide right. Sims gets it just outside the end zone, and Sergio Castillo missed an extra point and a field goal.
He was unsure, wasn't he?
I think he was.
C.J. Sims. We don't have time to go back to Saskatchewan, but C.J. Sims was going, it looked to me, if he had a thought bubble above his head, there's the reaction for, he knew it was wide, but Sims was going, do I take this out? Was it, yeah, no, because it's the end of the half, I'm out. He got it done.
Put it all together, Glenn.
Yeah, and I would say that they can compete with anybody, definitely in the first half of most of these games. Now can they play even better and improve upon the first half in the second?
We are underway. Edmonton will get the ball, and it comes to Sims. Sims back to the 30, no further. Wrapped up there, and that is where Edmonton will get the ball to start the third quarter of action.
And that's why you defer when you win the toss. You defer so you get the ball to start the second half, and you hope that you either have a lead or it's tied, which it is now. Here's Taylor Cornelius in the first half. A little bit of pressure, but he broke free from a couple of those Bomber blitzes. The Bombers in the first half sent blitz on almost every second down. So they went to the quick game. Edmonton after that. We'll see what this second half has. What does Richie Hall have for the second half?
Oh, I'm sure he's got something cooking. 55 yards on the ground for Cornelius. They'll hand this one off to Brown, and Nichols is down there to wrap him up immediately.
Extension of that play was Dunbar out into the flat. So that's the run pass option play, or RPO, from Cornelius. He went with the run there, but Dunbar had some room. That might be the next look that they're looking at on the tablet, saying, hey, let's not forget that we got that receiver out there.
Cornelius was 8 of 12 for 82 yards and an interception in the first half. That interception coming inside the Bombers' 10. Second and 9. They'll move him over to his right, and that one incomplete.
Wow.
Looking for Forbes Mumblow.
How about Ricky Walker?
Yeah, he hauled that in. Not bad, eh?
Defensive tackle who weighs in at, 6'2", 290 on the sideline. He's out of the rotation, and watch this catch. Oh, we missed the catch.
Anyway,
he was right in the corner there, number 9, and he hauled it in like he was a receiver.
It was a great catch. Here's Julian, stands at his own 20. Gets it away cleanly. Good kick. Parker watches it bounce, takes it on the high hop, makes one man miss. Parker looking for some room, but look at that. Nice tackle. Rodrigue was there and wrapped him up before he could escape. Here's Kolaris and a look at his work in the opening half of football.
Well, it got off a little shaky, not because of Kolaris, but because of third down in the middle of the field. He got Lawler going early, and this was the big drive. I mean, in the first quarter, he went 12 plays, 99 yards after the interception by the Bomber defense's Cam Lawson. So he looked, but he was on the run. And that pocket wasn't quite as strong as it's been in the past.
Starts here on his own 22. Everybody out to his wide side right. And they'll hand it off. And a little bit of room here for McCray. And a nice run by Greg McCray. And at least 9 on the carry. Actually, they'll give him 10 for a first down.
Yeah, a little bobbing and weaving. Send all the receivers wide to the right side of the field, the wide side of the field, and 29 can just pick his hole. Good patience here from Greg McCray. Just let those blocks establish themselves and then hit it up in there.
Nix McCray into this offense a little bit here and there. Certainly capable of coming up with a big one every now and then. So just enough. Took a little bit of an extra long look at it, but it wasn't up for a first down, so they work up to the Winnipeg 32. Oliveira to the right of Collaros, looking down the field for Schoen, and he's got it, and he hangs on.
Oh, they're saying he's down.
Got popped at the end of the play, but they said he was down. The ball came out after. Edmonton was saying it was incomplete, but I think they got this call right.
Yeah, it looked like it. He just got the wind knocked out of him when he got hit. And I think when he catches it, secures it while hitting the ground, and then loses it. And we'll see a challenge flag by Chris Jones. He wants to take another look, or at least have the command center take another look.
Just an awkward finish to that play, isn't it? Jones, oh, he had his challenge flag down.
Challenge.
That was a weird one. Now they go up to Lawler, and he gets hammered after he hauls it in for a first down for Winnipeg. Jones's challenge flag was on the field.
Yeah, then he picked it up just before the snap of the ball, and again, Collaros real quick to run that. Whenever there's been a controversial play, he's got that snap really quickly.
Moving the ball again here. Collaros, Serezna in his face, and forces him to throw it away out of bounds, and that'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Now, I think he was down by contact. I think, you know, this is probably maybe the officials. I'm speculating here, but maybe the officials said to Chris Jones, you're not going to win it. There's the Lawler catch. He was secure and no issue there. But you're right. He had it on the turf and then picked it up. No, I don't think the official went and said you're not going to win it. So
Hey, don't do it, man.
I don't mean it in that way. I just mean that he got word that he wasn't going to win it.
2nd and 10. Collaros downfield. Lawler in the end zone. No, incomplete. A little too much on that one. This place would have erupted if Lawler could have got to that. Dwayne Thompson, a 23-year-old in coverage.
Yeah, it really locked him down. But, you know, that sometimes with this guy, with number 89, being in good position as a DB doesn't always work for you. I mean, he's still going to make the catch if you give him a chance. I think he might have lost it, too. I think he was trying to track it because there was no acceleration to go and try and run it down. He may have lost it.
Castile from 46 for the lead, and he knocks this one through. Missed one at the end of the 2nd quarter. Gives his team a 9-6 lead here in the 3rd quarter. Taylor Cornelius trying to find a way to lead his team to victory. He'll have the ball. A local boy with a nice round to start the event. Elks get the ball on the road in Winnipeg, down 3 in the 3rd quarter. Looking for their first win of the season here. Cornelius hands it off to Brown, has some space. Brown's got a first down out to midfield, where Big Hill tracks him down and takes him down.
Kevin Brown almost gave it the give me that thing when he went by. This is another read by Cornelius, and it looked like Kevin Brown made the decision that time. Give me that rock. Go on. Nice discussion with him this week after the 77 yards against Hamilton in that loss.
17 on that pickup, had a 14-yarder earlier. Cornelius throwing this time, and that one's low. Houston there in coverage against Dylan Mitchell, but Mitchell couldn't come up with it.
Yeah, when you send pressure in the first half like Richie Hall did, quarterbacks, even veteran ones, will start to see ghosts. I mean, he did see Willie Jefferson on the edge a little bit, but I think Taylor Cornelius had time to settle in and make an accurate throw there. There's one of the great all-time, not only defensive backs and teammates, but defensive coordinators in this league as well.
2nd and 10. Cornelius, with enough time, gets it away. And a Bombers defender, Gramby, immediately looked to see if there was going to be a flag coming.
Yeah,
there was not.
He did, didn't he?
Right away, didn't he look over his left shoulder there?
Take a look at the pass rush that, again, is rushing Corneliuson, the accuracy, and that one just hit, and that's why there was no flag. Once it's tipped, there is no flag on the play.
So 3rd and 10. Julian. Right at midfield here. They snap it back to him, gets it away. Parker watches it bounce just inside the 10. And that one will roll into the end zone. With 8:40 on the clock, we have a 2-point game at IG Field in Winnipeg. Don't go anywhere. Thursday night is Bombers' season debut.
Again, the spectacular looks routine for this guy. This was the second throw in his direction right there. Just crazy good. And then a couple of hitches, got a couple of hits under his belt. Nice move down the sideline. Leads all receivers tonight on both teams.
72 yards on 5 catches. You saw them all. And back out there with the offense right now, really trying to kick things into high gears. Winnipeg leading 9-7, starting on their own 40. Polaris with time down the field for Dembski, wide open, he's got him. Dembski down to the 10 and he's all the way home. Touchdown Winnipeg. Dembski's 3rd of the season is a big one.
Sometimes when you're a veteran player, you're looking to try and steal one. I think Purifoy got caught because Nick Dembski is well behind coverage, no safety in the middle. And the Bombers with the explosion play.
Castillo to tack on one more and push the lead to 9. And that one right down the gut. Nick Dembski, biggest play of the year for him. Came in though, catching 86% of the passes thrown in his direction.
Look at this, Dustin. This is zero coverage. So Dembski's right here. He's working on Purifoy that's going to end up turning and running with him. But it's zero coverage because there's no safety in the middle. Zero means zero safeties, zero help down the middle. And watch Purifoy. He's running with him. He's got him. He runs that little double move, and Purifoy goes for the fake, goes for the interception, thinking the ball is on its way. And Dembski says goodbye. 5 yards separation for 30-40 yards down the field.
One little move.
That little inside move, and instead of, you can bite on that move and recover. But as soon as a DB or linebacker, you take your eyes off the receiver and look to the quarterback for the pick, that's when you get caught on the double move.
Winnipeg now leading 16-7. Sims takes it at his own 15. CJ Sims, he gets absolutely popped after jumping over a Bomber. And he's okay. There's a flag actually right around the 40 as well. Cadwallader was there.
During the return, holding. Edmonton number 42. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Here's another look at that heavy collision.
In the air, and wow. Both players trying to get the helmet out of the contact, though. Well, the game is really involved in that regard. Players consciously making sure that you can still be physical and have the big hits, but to get your help, it's still going to contact the other player's helmet, but you're not going to use it as the lead weapon.
Penalty backs Edmonton up, so they start on their own 14. Cornelius finds Cobb, and he's got it for a first down. First catch of the season for Gavin Cobb out of the University of Manitoba.
Now, when we talked to the Elks this week, we asked them about the game against the Winnipeg played against Ottawa. And does it give you hope that you can be down a score, you can be down even 2 scores, you could be down 16 points with less than 3 minutes to go and still win? They're going back to work here. It's a good sign.
Bombers showing pressure, and they'll bring in Cornelius, gets rid of it quickly, and it's caught on the far side of the field by Moore for a pickup of about 4 yards.
Quick throws. Got to be bang on. And with this defensive secondary in Winnipeg, a guy like Diedrich Nichols or Demario Houston, who's having just an outstanding season so far. And get ready to jump one pretty soon, one of those quick throws.
4 interceptions, 4 knockdowns. That interception number leads the league for Houston. Cornelius, pump fake, now down the field for Mitchell, and he's got it! Down to the 40, Mitchell to the 20, to the 10, and he's gone! Edmonton answers back, a big one into the arms of Dylan Mitchell for his first of the season.
If you have time against blitz, you know you got one-on-one, so double moves are gonna work. Winnipeg keeps sending pressure. They keep sending Big Hill. Marual, they keep sending both linebackers, which leaves the secondary in one-on-ones. And the guy we just talked about, it was slant, it was quick throw, it was slant, quick throw from Cornelius. This time it was a double move. Fake slant down the field.
80-yard strike to Mitchell. And Edmonton offensively has some life. Faithful knocks it through. And once again, it's a 2-point game. First touchdown of the season for Dylan Mitchell, who was a rookie sensation last year, hitting his stride all the way to the end zone.
Touchdown, because there's been a lot of this against the blitz. This is Kyron Moore right here. This was the play just prior to the touchdown. Little quick slant, little quick curl there, because you got to get the ball out quick against the blitz. Now this time they put Dylan Mitchell outside, and this time Dylan Mitchell says, I'm going to do the same thing. Little slant, no. Double move, and Demario Houston, as I just mentioned, is going to get ready to jump one of those slants, actually jumped at the same time Edmonton had the slant and go, and Maurice French says, yeah, baby. Love when we draw it up in the work week, and it works perfectly in the game.
Mitchell goes for 80 yards there, now has 112 yards in the touchdown tonight. His high game coming into the year, or into the game tonight, was 68 on the year, so a big breakout game for Mitchell. Cornelius, 96 passing yards on that drive, had only had 82 previously. And now they'll be pushed out of bounds just inside the 40, and Collaros comes back out still with the lead, 16-14. We got a tight football game on our hands here, though.
Yeah, and you know, this plays into the underdog's hands a little bit as the game goes on and you stay within one possession. Just ask Ottawa.
Just lurk around. Hang around.
Just hang around. Keep it within 1 or 2 possessions going into the 3-minute warning, and you got a shot.
Collaros 13 of 17, 225, a touchdown and a pick. 4-man pressure from Edmonton. Collaros in trouble and will be taken down. Almost got back to the line of scrimmage, but it was Serezna there with the somersault after he took him down.
And moving Serezna in at different positions. They had him out on the end. Now they're playing him in a little bit of defensive tackle. It gets a different matchup. Him going head-to-head with Liam Dobson. Again, Dobson inserted into the lineup today for Jeff Gray.
Sack for Serezna. 3rd of the season. Polaris. Ceresna stumbles. Polaris has a man. There's a flag as it's completed to his running back, Brady Oliveira, but it'll be a hold against Winnipeg.
Well, Ceresna he worked his butt off on that one. I'm just going to tell you, he went head-to-head and had a double team he had to fight through.
Winnipeg number 67. That penalty is declined. Third down.
I mean, this was just an effort flag. It was Kolinkowski that gets the penalty, but Ceresna, watch the work that Ceresna does here. He's going to fight a double team. Now he's basically getting wrangled there. He gets held a couple of times, and Kolinkowski tackles him. He keeps fighting and getting up. He earned that one.
Had the sack previously, drew the flag there, so a big stand from Ceresna. Sims bubbles this, picks it up on a one-hop, and taken down immediately at the 10. Nick Hallett downfield in a hurry, and able to make sure C.J. Sims had nowhere to go. One little bobble. No time after that.
At their favorite teams like CFL games, Winnipeg Valor, Winnipeg Sea Bears. And the sole purpose for Miranda doing this is simply to spread goodwill around, cause a few smiles, a little bit of happiness at tough times, guys.
Always nice to put a smile on someone's face.
Well, yeah, and you know, Canadian Football League players do so much in the community, and it's really underreported. But
offside. Edmonton, number 17.
The fans just helped. And tell me there's a cuter kid out there right now than Jagger. Plus, he had the good look going, man. I mean, Jagger has the real cool wristband on there, and
sharp-looking dude.
I think we're looking at a future player there. I mean, ball player.
First and 15. Cornelius in his own end zone here, and he's in trouble. Bombers trying to get there. He throws it away, and it'll sit there, but the whistles are down, and there's a flag actually in the end zone. And will this be against Cornelius? Let's find out what's happening here. Chris Jones watching on. Cornelius, not much time there as the Bombers' front four brought the heat. Long discussion with Coach O'Shea. And the back judge, Rob Skaggs, on the sideline.
Intentional grounding. Edmonton number 15. The play occurred in goal by rule. It is a safety touch.
So 2 points and the Bombers get the ball back. So intentional grounding, if it crosses the line of scrimmage, which was like the 4, or halfway between the 4 and the 5. Yeah, it was right on the 5-yard line. So if the ball crosses the line of scrimmage.
Looked like it fell short of the line of scrimmage, and because
there's no player
grounding, he was in the end zone.
Well, you get the 2 points. If it's a holding, it's a new rule, a holding or intentional grounding in the end zone, you get the 2 points. But I was just looking to see if there was a receiver anywhere near it, because if there is and it's thrown behind the line, it's not intentional grounding, but there was no receiver.
Didn't look like anybody was there.
You know, shout out 7-5.
And Winnipeg's defense steps up big, gets a couple of points out of it. And will now get the ball back, leading 18-14 as Cornelius back on the sideline looking for answers. With that line of scrimmage being at the 5, that ball not able to get back there, nobody around it. And intentional grounding in the end zone. leads to Winnipeg getting some momentum back in this ball game.
And you kick off after a safety from your own 20. So automatic good field position, usually.
Faithful. Taken at the 40 on the far side of the field by Augustine, and he returns it up to about midfield. So once again, excellent field position for the Bombers.
Part of me is still sitting with you in the back corner booth on a different night. Baby, I'm in trouble. Steady missing you. I'm getting through another double.
So it looked like C and then G on the last two chords.
Oh, yeah, you're a guitar guy.
No, I'm just looking. Just you don't watch the hands to see where.
No.
No.
I don't.
Okay.
No, I am not musically inclined in any stretch of the imagination. Hand off to Brady Oliveira, and it's really just been a lot of that for Brady Oliveira tonight, kind of right into the middle of the pack. His 7th carry of the game for about 30 yards.
Yeah, against a team, as you mentioned earlier, that was giving up around 150 yards a game along the ground. So huge improvement for the Elks in their run defense in this game so far tonight. Now they've got work to do, and there's a quarter and a bit to go.
4 yards for Oliveira. His long in the game, just 7. So they've somewhat contained him so far tonight, but Kolaris over 233 yards passing here in the 3rd. Now he's going to look down the field again, and it's Dembski, and guess what? He's wide open. He'll take it down inside the 20 as Dembski finds a soft spot in that Edmonton defense.
Yeah, and Edmonton, remember when Purifoy got beat deep and they went out of 0 now, so they're going to play a zone defense, and this time for Dembski, again, recognizing the coverage like his quarterback does, instead of going way down the field and just running into the safety, he sits down in that intermediate zone.
Fourth catch of the game for Dembski. 115 yards receiving and a touchdown. You love it if you have him in fantasy. Kolaris, far side. And that one wrapped up immediately by Lewis after Lawler hauled in his 6th catch of the ball game.
Yeah, you know, when you are at this level, when you get to the pro level, Lawler's out there at number 1. You get to the pro level, you got to play from the shoulders up. You have to understand the game. You have to understand coverages just like your quarterback does. You know, in college you can get away with it. You can get away with just being an athlete. But you get to the pro level when they're all good, and Dembski making that play. Lawler's made a couple tonight, but Dembski recognizing coverage and sitting down, huge.
2nd and 6 from the Edmonton 15. Kolaris near side. That is caught, but stumbling on the play was Rasheed Bailey. Bratton there to touch him down, and that'll bring up 3rd down. And Castile will trot onto the field.
Again, after an explosion, that was a couple downs in a row. This is tight coverage by Bratton up there. He just stayed on the inside and was stubborn. Forced Rasheed Bailey to push it back out towards the sideline, and then he just stumbles. And Kolaris is getting less comfortable being in this one possession deal. Didn't like that.
21-yarder for Castillo, and he smooths that one right through the uprights. And Winnipeg, after the safety and the field goal, now lead by 7. Cornelius, 11 of 19, 178, touchdown and an interception, and 55 yards rushing in the first half. Hasn't really been able to get out of that pocket here in the second half.
Yeah, he broke contain. I believe it was Jeffcoat early on, and you know, I'm sure that the Winnipeg defense at halftime went and said, hey, we cannot lose contain against this guy.
Keeps it pressured, has a completion to Moore, and he is wrapped up at the 45 after a 5-yard pickup. And Kramdy's able to hang on to him.
Les Maruo was the secondary contained there in the linebacker coming up for Willie Jefferson. That's why he could crash down, and that's why Cornelius couldn't get outside and around the edge. He wanted to on that last play.
They give Moore 6, so it's 2nd and 4. Time ticks down in the third quarter at IG Field. Crowd ramping things up a bit here. Cornelius, 4-man pressure, far side, completion to French, stays on his feet momentarily, held on to there by Soiree, and a first down for the Elks. That'll do it. 3 quarters in the books. We've got a 7-point ball game. The Bombers looking to bounce back after letting one slip away last week. In a good spot, but Edmonton still seeking their first win of the season. And they are still in the thick of it, trailing by 7. Hanging around in this one.
Well, they had the big speech from G. Roy Simon this week talking about that 0-5 start for the Lions in 2011. Remember in Any Given Sunday when Pacino, the inches we need.
Epic speech.
Inches we need are everywhere around us. That's what I'm sure is going through the mind right now of the Edmonton Elks. They're in a 1-possession game in Winnipeg against one of the top teams in the league. And are the words from G. Roy Simon sinking in? The inches we need are right there. Can you get it done? The fans are going to have something to say about it, I'll tell you that. And so might he.
What are you made of if you're Edmonton and Cornelius? Brown will flare out to the right of his quarterback. Near side towards Montbleau. Couple of extra yards after the initial contact from DeMario Houston, and it'll be a 2nd and relatively manageable here for Edmonton.
And a big drive here or in this 4th quarter, and a good finish and an upset for Taylor Cornelius, and the quarterback discussion ends in Edmonton. At least for a while.
I was going to say probably for about a week. With the way things have gone up and down, roller coaster, the QB position. They went back to Cornelius tonight. 14 to 22 for 191, a touchdown and an interception. 2nd and 6 here. Jefferson right up the middle. Cornelius gets by him. Down the field, up for grab. Mitchell, no! Incomplete, working against Evan Holm.
That's just a great play by Evan Holm down the field, because Cornelius is in trouble here. He gets pressure right up the middle from Willie Jefferson, feels the pocket collapsing, or as Cam Lawson said at halftime, squishing around him. And Evan Holm just makes a play with the ball in the air. The 50-50 goes to the DB.
6th knockdown of the season for the 2nd-year player Evan Holm out of North Dakota State. Julian's kick, end over end. Parker waits, takes it at the 8. Back out to the 20, and no further with 13:41 on the clock. CFL on TSN continues tomorrow with Friday Night Football. The Red Hot Argos head to Hamilton. That should be a good one. Saturday, it's the Riders and Lions. We'll be there for that. And 1 week after the crumback, as they're calling it, Dustin and the Red Blacks wrap things up in Calgary. Week 7 rolling along all weekend right here on TSN.
7 of the last 8 games have been decided in the final 3 minutes.
That's exciting. Plus, the crumback is an awesome handle. I've been impressed with that all week. Here's Oliveira, his best of the game, right up the middle, all the way out, just shy of the 40. Brady Oliveira finally gets sprung free.
Yeah, and there is the play that changes the stat line for number 20. He needed one 20-plus run, and then the stat line looks very different after what has been a very good run defensive display by the Edmonton Elks. He finds a crack in the armor.
Goes for 18, and that one all the way up to the 39. Back again to number 20, and Oliveira, great push left side of that line. And it'll be a second and short situation.
That's why you stick with it. And that's why I mentioned about Buck Pierce. He started the game with it, and Buck Pierce wasn't having the OC wasn't having success with it, but he stuck with it. Just like he didn't bail on it from the Ottawa game when Oliveira only had, what, 16, 19 yards or something like that. You know, he didn't bail from it then either. And now we're in the fourth quarter. The defense is much more fatigued. Keep pounding it in there. You get tired stopping the run.
Well, last time I was here, the Bombers had an 11-minute drive in the fourth quarter to seal that game away. And they go back right up the middle, another first down. And Brady Oliveira's legs are churning on this one.
And the running backs, the good ones, the great ones, love those last 7 or 8 runs. That's when they can really make it happen. He's at number 10. So the next 5, he's just getting fired up there. Yeah. Keep her going.
10 for 64 now. There'll be an empty backfield for Collaros, but there's Dembski, slides up next to his quarterback. Collaros has a man. That's McRae, first down, and they march on to Edmonton's side of the field.
Three options and puts the defenders in a rock and a hard place. You just can't you can't make the right decision. Adam Konar gets squeezed. If he runs out to the flat, they throw it inside. If he stays inside, they throw it out to the flat.
Well, that's frustrating if you're Adam Konar, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Oh, is it ever?
10.5 minutes remaining. Oliveira back in this ball game. There's a look at Konar. Working from the 43. Collaros out to his right, dumps it over the middle. He's got Lawler, spins and takes it down to the 25. Kenny Lawler finding a small bit of space.
This is a way that Konar could get around that frustration, because Adam Konar is going to run with Brady Oliveira right to the flat. He stays him, plays with him man to man, stays right with him. So now Collaros goes to the next step. The next step is I got one-on-ones, so which guy am I going to go to sitting down here? Konar takes the back. He runs to the flat this time, and right in that little hole is Kenny Lawler.
Lawler just let everybody kind of go that way, and then boom, stopped. Hello. Got to the 26. That's where Collaros works. Pressure from Edmonton this time. They'll hand it off. Brady Oliveira trying to kick it to the outside. And he's got a big chunk on first down. That should take him over 70 yards on the night.
Every one of these runs, the Elks defense get up a little bit slower. This time it was AC Leonard trying to get outside, and play coming downhill from the safety spot. Looked like Franklin Jr. got involved. Leonard's going to take a knee.
We'll step away. Yards sitting at 302 on 19 of 23. It's his third 300-yard game of the season. $93 yards to Lawler, 115 to Dembski. 2nd and 2. Back to Brady Oliveira, looking for contact, and he found it. Still going. Brady Oliveira would not be stopped. They finally finish him off down inside the 10. What a run.
Just watch the difference in the body language when you're on a roll. You got the game. You got to start running the ball, get physical. You're right. He did search out contact, and watch how quickly he gets up after he goes down here. He finally gets tackled, and watch the difference. He gets up, fired up, can't wait to get the ball again, and look at the defenders. Oh, brother, I am getting tired of this.
Enough already. And Brady's not going anywhere. 1st and goal now from the Elks' 8-yard line. Back to Oliveira again. And a little push down just shy of the 5, and that'll bring up 2nd and goal. Chris Jones watching on from the sideline, trying to find some answers that just don't appear to be there right now.
Well, this was just Oliveira. He took the Elks defense down here that have been, were for 3 quarters solid on the run. But it's a 4-quarter game, and they are sucking in wind right now. They are breathing hard.
There's a perfect example. 2nd and goal from the 6. Collaros keeps it this time to the end zone. Touchdown! Rasheed Bailey gives the Bombers some breathing room with his 3rd touchdown of the year.
Great call by Buck Pierce to get Zach Collaros out on the edge. When that D-line is that tired, it's almost impossible for them to redirect and maintain containment and keep the quarterback in the pocket. And I think it was Jake Serezna, he went for the first move on Zach and just kind of went, I can't redirect. I just can't get there.
Castile to make it a 14-point game. You see the flags fly as he knocks it through. Yes! Winnipeg.
Yes! Yes!
On top. Rasheed Bailey a bit happy after finding the end zone here to cap off a 9-play, 89-yard drive.
Comes Zach Collaros on the outside. Now, in fairness to Jake Serezna, it looked like he may be assignment-wise asked to crash down here, which would mean that someone else, a linebacker or D lineman, has to get contained. Stop it here. So now there's no contain on Zach Collaros, and the coverage is a scramble to try and get to Kenny Lawler. That opens up the middle, and Rasheed Bailey sits right in there.
It's another one of Collaros' weapons. Bailey career highs last year.
You walk like a dog!
3 touchdowns on the season for him. Sims takes it at the 30. Sims stays on his feet, picks his way back outside the 40, and that is where Edmonton will get the ball when we return. Cornelius down 14. No more room for error of their running back.
Yeah, Brady Oliveira between the tackles too. It wasn't like they were pitching it out wide and he was, you know, running for the corners and trying to get down the sideline. He was in between the tackles, just pounding away at this Edmonton defense that has been on the field 10 minutes longer to this point in the game than the Bomber defense has been on the field. So time of possession big time in favor of Winnipeg, and you can see the fatigue in the Elks D line. Little play action at the end, touchdown Winnipeg. They take the 2-score lead. The Brady drive.
Cornelius hands it off. Brown with a little stumble, but that forward momentum will take him ahead for a pretty decent chunk on 1st down.
Again, if you watched the CFL last week, 6 minutes and 20 seconds.
No, this one's over, right? This is over, right?
Not a chance.
We saw Cornelius strike to Mitchell on an 80-yarder earlier in the ball game. 4-man pressure here. Cornelius has Dunbar, and that'll go for a 1st down. Just Dunbar's 2nd catch of the game. He's been held relatively quiet.
Playing tempo. They're going to call the plays on the line of scrimmage. Good decision here, too.
Up to the Winnipeg 51. Pressure this time. Cornelius gets it away, deflected, and then through the hands of Forbes Mumblow. Had a pretty good crack at it for a ball that had already been tipped by Willie Jefferson.
Well, and DeMario Houston was going to go, he was doing the step around. That's what we used to call it in the DB drill, step around drill, where you step around the bag and simulate the interception. And he was on his way. That ball was tipped, and he thought, oh, man, if it was on its way and Willie didn't get it, he's going the other direction.
Yeah, but Willie always gets it.
He does, doesn't he? Over 60 knockdowns and 60 sacks. No other player's ever done it.
3-man rush. Cornelius still in trouble, trying to get away. He does. Does he have time to pass it? He does. And he gets hit, and there's a flag on the play. Roughing the passer. And Boyko getting in the face of the Bomber. Brian Cole right there to finish off Cornelius.
Major foul. Roughing the passer. Edmonton number 41. 15-yard penalty and a first down.
Well, let's see. Ball away. The question there for Brian Cole is, could he have pulled up? And that's what I think Coach O'Shea is saying to him. Could you have pulled up or not? Could you have?
Cornelius trying to keep Edmonton alive. Forbes Montbleau hauls it in for another first down, and the Elks moving the ball up the field quickly with just 5 minutes left. They really have no other choice.
No, absolutely. Call it on the line. Adam Konar said that Ottawa game reminded us what can happen in the CFL.
Bombers show pressure, and they bring it. Everybody. Completion to Mitchell, wrapped up neatly on the far side by Demario Houston. And good thing he did, or else there might have been some space there, but a nice tackle by 35.
Yeah, it was a good tackle, but Demario Houston not jumping those quick ones anymore.
Lesson learned.
He jumped one, got caught on it. This time he's playing just a little bit more of a hesitation.
2nd and 7 for Cornelius. Wants to take off. Wrapped up, tripped up by Walker. And that'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, but I don't think there's any question they're going to go for it and play 3-down football. Absolutely.
Crowded IG, stepping it up. 3rd and 6. Gotta have it here. Cornelius deflected by Jefferson again. And Willie gets the job done.
He does it again. I mean, it's like throwing it around an oak tree. And his timing on this stuff is remarkable. You know, reading the quarterback's throwing action. It's not just as simple as throwing your hands in the air. You got to get around your man, keep your hands in tight to protect yourself as a D lineman, and then time it up right on the release of the quarterback, and he is the best in the business at getting it done.
Well, he walked right around Boyko and had a clear lane to get in front of that one. What a move. Having himself a game again. Collaros, 14-point lead, hands it off. Ely is there to wrap up Brady Oliveira after a short pickup on 1st down. You know, we talk about learning from lessons on the Edmonton side, considering the way the last game ended for the Bombers.
Absolutely.
Learned a lesson there as well. Protect the ball, look after it.
And that's why the last drive was all Brady Oliveira until they were down at the 5-yard line.
3 minutes remaining. Thursday night football from IG Field.
Score game, but go back to that Willie Jefferson play because it's 3rd down and the Elks desperately need this 1st down. Going for it on 3rd, of course, because they're down 2 scores and they have an open Dylan Mitchell right here. But big number 5 does it again and swats it out of the air. Yep, business as usual.
4-time All-Star.
I'm up.
Coming into this game, 7 sacks, 5 knockdowns. Early in the year, too. Handed off to Brady Oliveira right up the middle. Huge pickup as he now creeps up towards 100 yards rushing in the ball game.
All of it in the fourth. And, you know, just one more thing with Willie Jefferson. Here's a guy, and it's one of the great parts about Canadian football. What great things about this game is that get guys from the States that come up, they make this their home, they become stars in the league, and then they raise their families here in Canada. And that's exactly what Willie Jefferson has done here in Winnipeg. Beautiful young family, and moved up here, and it's his permanent home.
Big part of the community,
Yeah.
big part of the defense. And watching on is likely more Brady Oliveira time, 102 yards on the ground, putting him up at over 500 on the season. Heavy collision here, a couple yards on first down for Brady that time.
And good for Buck Pierce. And I've already said it, but good for Buck Pierce. I mean, you know, there's many times you do the games and you go, why did they forget the run? Why did they forget about it? Why did they go away from it? And even when it looks like you're running into a wall for a quarter, sometimes even a half, it's so important, that balance. And that's what Buck Pierce did. He kept with it. He kept with it. And then with a one-score lead, he relied on it for that long drive over 50 yards.
I'd almost say he saved it.
Yeah.
Right? He saved it for the fourth quarter to put the game away. And Brady now at 104. Stands in behind Zach Collaros here. 2nd and 8. Back to him again. Needs 8. Not going to get it. About 6 before he's taken down, and that'll bring up 3rd down for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Well, he gave it that second effort again. He got an extra 3 after first contact. Boy, he is in the last 2-3 drives here. He has been searching out contact, hasn't he?
3rd game of over 100 yards for Oliveira on the year. Long way to go in the season. And he's putting up some pretty good numbers. Hit 1,000 yards last year. He's already halfway there.
And here's Buck Pierce calling on 2nd and 8, a running play to grind the clock down with a 2-possession lead. Lesson learned from Ottawa.
Sims takes it at the 15. Gets a block. Only one though, and then is hammered down. Cadwallader again to wrap him up. F1 returns to TSN on Sunday as drivers go head-to-head in the Hungarian Grand Prix. Action begins at 8:55 Eastern, 5:55 Pacific, only on TSN.
There are 2 fouls after the play. Both fouls are 15 yards for unnecessary roughness. They are misconduct. Number 7, Winnipeg, and 32, Edmonton. First down.
Coach O'Shea got a lot of questions about that game in Ottawa, and almost was trying to say, hey, we get it. The foundation is good. I even heard in Media Row up here that there were some fans in Winnipeg that were really concerned, and did I hear the word panicking or something?
About the 4-2, yeah.
A 4-2 record, and I'm going, you're not allowed to panic when you're back-to-back.
Taking a couple in a row and close last year. Here's Cornelius running for his life, and he's going to be taken down by Jeff Coates.
Yeah, when you won 2 in a row and then close last year, but in the game last year, and then are sitting at 4-2, you're not allowed to be panicked.
No panic. Have faith.
Yeah. Well, it was so kind of matter of fact. I mean, I've asked before Coach O'Shea. I've asked him, you know, like let's say that Zach got sacked a few times. This is a 2nd and a bunch.
I was saying Cornelius looks like he's limping a little bit too, and they're going to get home again. A long night continues for Cornelius Jefferson, this time adding to his list of accomplishments in this game.
Well, he's banged up too, and Cornelius here is a defeated quarterback. Look how he tries to back up here. He's kind of half steps, ball's down by his waist. He's not even pulling it up, ready to throw.
Yeah, I think when he got spun around by Jeffco,
he's nicked. Yeah,
you can see right now he's looking uncomfortable. 3rd and 25. Less than a minute to go. He's one down the field, looking for Mitchell against Houston, and interception for DeMario Houston. Give him 5 on the year.
That should put him in the lead, no?
He was already in the lead.
A little separation in the lead. That's well played. That's just high pointing. Knowing the receivers behind you. Again, we talk about receivers that, if they drop one, they come back and want to be targeted quickly. And Houston gave up one tonight. See Cornelius getting some discussion about with the training staff, but he basically locked down the Elks receivers after that touchdown he gave up, and now comes up with a pick to put this one away.
Houston, 3 fumble recoveries and 5 interceptions this year. 8 takeaways for the third-year Bomber. Sensational season, trending towards being an all-star. Edmonton left hanging around, but another loss and searching for answers, Glenn.
Well, yeah, I mean, first of all, the Bombers, the foundation is solid. That they've got great personnel. Getting Lawler back makes a real strong receiving core even better. We saw them, go toe-to-toe. It's a close game because both teams have great athletes that will compete. And Edmonton keeps getting closer. 3 quarters of better run defense. And then the fourth quarter, it collapsed. I still think they've got to talk about the quarterback position. And it wasn't Cornelius' fault. Don't get me wrong. But is Taylor Cornelius going to get you your first win? I mean, he's 0-6 on the season.